and you can see some vertical development above cloud base. It was saying that potentially we were going to see clouds that were up to 20,000 feet. And I did hear that to the north yesterday, at some point, I can't remember what time, but some of the ground crew were saying that there was some significant development vertically to the north, and it went off to the east.
What was Cape saying yesterday?
Cape was saying no thunderstorm development at all. Light blue all day. So, other questions? Does somebody want to try this before I get off? I'll keep it here. Go ahead.
So, let's say you come out here on a day, you're already here, so you know whether to come or not, you've already decided. So now you're trying to figure out what's the best time today to fly. You want to fly, say, 2 hours because you figured out before you want to fly. In practical terms, then how would you go about making that decision from this?
So on a day that I'm potentially going flying, I obviously study the weather ahead of time to make sure it's not going to be blown out or not going to be potential for thunderstorm development using other sources, you know, like in telecast or something like that. I'll get up in the morning, and then when I drink my coffee, I'll pull up the Skew-T, look at XC skies, and over last week when we had the high pressure in here, no cloud development, very blue, very clear in the morning, no fog, very cold. It was like 39 degrees at the house I was staying at one of the mornings. Then I would roll through and I would pick different times, like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I'd pick 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and it shows all the different lines. So you can see that they're very, very similar. So that wouldn't really give me a lot of information as far as when the best time is. So then I would go back and look at each individually. And in this case, what we say at 2 o'clock, it was 4,000. Here's 3 o'clock, peak temperature of the day. And it was saying it was almost 5,000 feet, 4,700. So, you know, if I were just here to soar and just have a good, enjoyable flight, I'd probably wait until 3 o'clock. And you can see that the day just got better with time.
And the temperatures, when you're saying it's going to be 79 degrees at such and such a time, 80 degrees, where do you get those temperatures from?
I get that off of Telecast or some other source, whatever you want to use. They plot it by hour, what they think it's going to be. There are many different sources you can use, but see at 4 o'clock, or sorry, 4 o'clock it was predicting almost 5,000. 5 o'clock,
Was it still 86 degrees then?
yeah, about it was staying pretty. Hottest part of the day was 4 and 5 o'clock yesterday, and here you can see they're saying 5,000 feet. So wind was 280 degrees at 9 knots at top of the lift. Temperature was 59. Top of the lift was, it looks like my cursor's a little low, but 4,600 feet. Now, what other questions do you have? Anyone? Would you like to see XC skies real quick and see how that relates to this data?
It's margin of error.
Oh, you know,
Yes.
the weather assessment has changed for over time, for sure. You know, back when I was flying, back when a lot of you were just maybe not even born, but probably in the mid 70s to early 80s. I mean, it was kind of like the old wet the finger and walk outside. But we knew, I'm in Illinois, so Illinois is in northern Midwest, and our best weather up there is post-frontal. So a cold front comes through, and the days, 2-3 days afterwards, 1, 2, 3 days, are just epic. That's when we get the cloud development, that's when we get the strong winds, that's when we get the strong lift. And so those were the days that are most germane for us, or most probable for us to be able to get good flying. So, I mean, I told Carrie Castle back, I don't know, 12 years ago or so, she said, well, she hadn't flown Florida a lot, and she said, well, when do you know it's a good day? I said, go outside, and if the grass is dry, we're gonna have a great day, you know? If the grass is wet, then it may not be so high, you know, because too much moisture in the air. And so we came out one day and they chose the task. I said, Carrie, the grass was dry, we're going long today. And they called like a 120-mile task, and 30 gliders made goals. So, so I'm gonna go to my Firefox here and go to weather, and here's XC skies. And XC skies has a number of parameters over on the left, top of the usable lift. This is all generated based on soaring gliders, paragliders, hang gliders. So that the yellow one is top of the lift. You got updraft velocity, buoyancy shear, cape, which we're going to look at for today. And then down here it's got cloud base, cloud depth, precipitation, and even lower wind speed. So if you look over at the map, we're right here, and you can see we're looking at top of the usable lift, and over on the right is the key to the colors, and this dark purple is no lift, 0. Doesn't look like that right now, but so that's the RAP 13 prediction for 2 o'clock. NAM, which is a different model, says we're going to have very little wind, no lift. NAM 12 says, oh, we're going to have 3,000 to 4,000 top of the lift, 10 miles an hour out of the southwest. And that's at the surface, as this indicates right here, surface. So I can take it to the top of the lift, and it's going to be 22 miles per hour on this diagram. So it's blowing pretty good up above. And then GFS has been pretty accurate for us this at the beginning of this year. I don't believe it though today. It says 6,000 and says it's going to be good. So now we also like to look at updraft velocity. Let me go back to yesterday because that was a good day and we know what it was like. And at RAP was basically saying that our lift, top of the lift would be 5,000, 4,000 to 5,000. I can click here in this blue area, dark blue, and it'll show me what the different models say for altitude. So GFS predicted 53. NAM 3 was saying 43. NAM 12 36, RAP 39, and so on. And I think at 2 o'clock yesterday we were seeing just over 4,000 feet. So, so now I can go to updraft velocity, and it's showing this kind of a different color green. And if you go to the right, to that different color green, it says 500 to 600 feet per minute at 2 o'clock. Now I'll go to 4 o'clock and let's see what it says at that time. So it's showing the same with some pockets of 600 to 700 around. So hence why we were getting some really good conditions yesterday. This says we were getting good lift. I'll go back to 1400. Now I'll look at buoyancy shear, and the buoyancy shear in a nutshell tells you how big and fat the thermals are going to be. And in this case, Rapp was saying they weren't going to be very good. They were going to be on a 3 or 4 or 5. But the other models, it looks like NAM 12 said the same thing.
That's a 2.5.
And the optimistic model that I went with yesterday morning was GFS, and it said 7. And I heard some people say they were feeling some sharp edges at times, and I don't know about wire twangs, but generally Under the Clouds was really nice and smooth. Don't you think, Tim?
Yeah.
I mean, they were big and fat and smooth and, right, Oded? Pretty easy to stay up in those babies, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So then Mick asked about CAPE. So let's go back to today at 2 o'clock. And CAPE is the convective available potential energy, the amount of buoyant energy available to accelerate a parcel vertically. Value